Hey guys, you're listening to TDNS, the home of ASM artist interviews. You may be thinking, Chris, your voice is rather high-pitched today. That's because I'm your temporary host for the next few months while Chris is out. I'm ASMR Shanny, and with me today is one of my favorite Twitter friends and ASMR artists. She is awesome, creative, and super kind. Please give a warm welcome to Lilibette ASMR. Lily, how are you today?
Hi, Shanny. I'm all right. Thank you. How are you?
Doing great. Now, one of my first questions I like to ask is, when did you discover ASMR and when were you introduced to ASMR?
I think I had a few brief experiences with it when I was littler, actually. I remembered watching Return to Oz. Have you ever seen that movie? It's from the 80s.
Okay.
And there is a particular scene in that movie that gives me unintentional ASMR.
What's the scene?
With Princess Mombi's intro, when she's sitting in the chair and she's playing her lute, that tends to give me unintentional ASMR. And I didn't really understand what it was at the time, but that always was a trigger. And when it comes to discovering ASMR on YouTube, I think I discovered it around 2000. I guess more when it was more about the whisper community, as some would say. And I used to listen to Whisper Crystal, I believe was her name. She used to be, I think she was my initial thing. And then she stopped creating content and she used to just record audio.
Okay.
But I think she was one of the few at the time that was doing softly spoken ASMR sometimes. And that's why I kind of listen to her, because that tends to be more my trigger. But yeah. And I guess from there, I discovered gentle whispering and other artists like Ardra. And there's others that I just discovered over time.
Yeah. So
it's just been my life.
I'm glad you said you noticed it when you were younger too, because that's what I always say is I noticed it when we would play with makeup or someone would be playing with my hair that I got tingles.
Oh yeah. Hair brushing is another trigger.
Yeah, exactly. So is your favorite triggers whispering or?
You know, I'm weird. I'm not so much a fan of whispering. I guess it depends on the artist though, because some artists can do it pretty nicely in my opinion, but I love softly spoken female voices for the most part. And I love hair brushing and sometimes glass sounds and metallic sounds and jewelry sounds.
No, I like those too.
And of course, shop role plays or fantasy style role plays. It just depends.
Do you get tingles quite frequently or is it something that just happens on occasion when you hear those noises?
I get tingles a lot, but I'm very particular about it has to be particular voices and triggers that give me tingles, and sometimes they just happen with my thinking it would. I was watching your Christmas video with the Grinch and you being a Who. I was actually watching that, and when you actually started tapping on the glass globe, that actually gave me tingles for a few seconds. It was really nice.
I'm so glad. I love that little snow globe.
I do too. It's very cute.
So, what made you start an ASMR channel?
I actually regret having waited so long to start because I had literally been listening to ASMR for years. But I've always had a weight issue for most of my, since my early 20s and up until now, quite a number of years. I'm in my 30s now, but I've been struggling with weight issues. And so initially, when I would look at people like Gentle, other artists like yourself, I always thought, well, I don't know if I'm really pretty enough or I'm not really that skinny enough. And I just didn't think that I could really do it. And I guess it would be a little bit over 2 years ago. A little over 2 years ago, I went through a really a bad event with my family, I guess is how I can word it. And I had to move from to Maryland now.
Okay.
So, and I've been having to stay in a room in a house since, and it's kind of an awkward and unhealthy living space. but I'm trying to make the best of it. Gosh, I forgot where I was going with this.
No, I'm sorry that that's happened, but so
No.
but because of that, it took you a while to start your channel.
Oh, yes. When I moved up here, I kind of, after some months of moving up here, I just thought, well, because I had suffered from agoraphobic tendencies for many years. Like, I have very severe anxiety, so I tended to shy from the public, and I would isolate myself in an apartment I used to have in Georgia or wherever I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really want to go out. So I guess 2 years ago, I just thought, okay, well, I'm going to actually try to wear makeup. Because I had actually gone on for years without wearing makeup. I'm going to actually try to wear makeup. And when I had put on makeup for the first time after like so many years, I just thought, well, I'm not really that ugly. Like, I actually...
You're not ugly, you're gorgeous.
So it was like little positive steps like that, and just changing my wardrobe and just kind of improving the way I dressed and did my hair. And of course I went through steps of like trying to dye my hair and bleach my hair because I wanted to be blonde for a while. As you'll see in my very early videos, I was blonde for a while.
I did see you were blonde in those videos. I thought it looked pretty, but I like your dark hair too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I kind of discovered some months ago that I actually feel kind of violet blue hair instead. So
yeah.
And that's what I've been going with for some months now, and I feel like my color, like that's just kind of the thing I want to do from now on with my hair.
Right. Everyone finds their color.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I just thought, well, I wonder if I could get away with doing ASMR. And I know I'm being really a big babbleberry about this story, but...
Oh, no, it's fine. No, just, you're gorgeous, and everybody goes through that. I did, too, comparing myself to other artists and everything, but you're gorgeous, and you're doing a great job, so...
Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm very guilty having compared myself, and sometimes I still do compare myself, but I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be things with my channel, so...
Your channel...
Since it's... Oh, sorry.
No, nothing. I was going to say your channel's doing great. I love your most recent video, the princess video. That was really awesome.
Thank you.
So creative.
Thank you. Yeah, that was done after a night of just being so frustrated because I was 2 videos of just doing ASMR type gaming.
Yeah.
Where I just play a game and just do like softly spoken or whispering commentary. And those videos just didn't end up working out. The game volume ended up not being recorded because I didn't set up my OBS right, my OBS studio. Okay. So I got frustrated and I just sat down. I was thinking, I've already got makeup on. I might as well record something. What the heck can I do? And I thought about the Empress from the Never-Ending Story. I thought about her, and I don't know if you've seen that movie.
I have, actually. I was going to tell you it reminded me of it.
I thought about her type of character, and so I just wanted to practice improv on, but I felt immersed in her character, and I just started speaking with like a few ideas in my head of what I wanted to say, and just trying to roll with it for about 30 minutes or so.
It was really great.
Thank you.
So is that kind of like how you do your creative process? Like, can you kind of walk us through it? Do you sit down and just kind of do it as improv, or do you write a script?
Well, with this new video I have coming out where I'm actually going to reenact certain scenes from the movie Misery that Kathy Bates starred in.
Yeah.
That requires a bit of a script because she has very particular key lines in that. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, my one ASMR artist friend, TR Deweu, I think is how you say his name.
Yeah,
he goes by Mike. He actually requested me to do a video of Misery. As soon as he saw my Halloween video, he was like, okay, I got a request for you. I want you to portray Kathy Bates in Misery. I think you could really pull it. I think that was what he said. And
That's awesome.
I thought about it because I am still, a little overweight. And I thought about it. I was like, oh my God, that would be so freaking brilliant. And Yeah, so I did write a bit of a script for that. And I guess I ended up having to break the scenes up, like one scene, and I filmed 5 different scenes, and they last about either a few minutes to about 5 minutes each. You
Okay.
know, which makes about a 20-minute or so video. And but I felt like I had to pace myself doing one scene per night, and I've been doing that for like 5 nights now. It's all done though, and I'm just editing the video for Monday, this upcoming Monday. But
That's so awesome. I
I
can't
love,
wait to see it.
yeah, and there are other videos I'll try to actually. It depends on what I'm doing, what type of, if it's a role play video, what type of role play video I'm doing.
Okay.
If I feel like I can do it without a script, I will, and I'll just try to improv it. But sometimes I will try to write a script and try to memorize at least some lines. Yeah, it just depends. I hope that answers the question.
It's perfect. I was just curious because I know that I tried to do a script before and I find it easier to improv it, and I didn't know if it was, because you said you improv that one and it was really good. So I didn't know if that was like your creative process.
It just depends on the video, yeah. I mix the two methods up.
That's really cool. So who are some of your favorite ASM artists and who would you say inspired you the most?
Okay, well, after initially being fond of Whisper Crystal, I believe was her name.
Yeah.
I would have to look back on it now. She's, like I said, it was very many years ago. After I had discovered her and she stopped making videos, I found Gentle Whispering. And for many years now, Gentle Whispering has been my inspiration and one of my top favorites, yes. And then I went on to discover Ardra ASMR, I believe is her name, Ardra. Because I feel like her voice can be she could just be so chill. And it's just, you could tell soft-spoken is just tends to be my favorite trigger. So there's her, and I also discovered not too long ago, I did discover Isabel Imagination and Rascabel Rabbit. Rascabel Rabbit is probably one of my top 2 favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, I like her.
Yeah. Gosh. And I'm trying to think of another favorite. I'm trying to think of like a top 5. It's kind of hard because there's some lovely artists, and there's at least 1 or 2 other artists as well. Well, at least 2 that I go back to for particular videos they've done. There is Gibby. I do like some of the content she makes. My favorite of hers is her Arwen roleplay video that she did. I think it was either last year or the year before. And then there's Desire ASMR, which is I think she's in the UK, but she's an older woman who's heavier like I am. And she managed to also make an ASMR channel, and she's got at least 10,000 subscribers, I think. But she seems like she's been doing this for years. So, and she did a video where she did like a lipstick shop roleplay, and she had like a piece of paper with like lips drawn on it, and she would take like a brush and like dab the paintbrush on a lipstick and then use that paint onto these lips to show like the colors of these. That's one I go to every now and then, sometimes, of my favorite videos.
I was going to say, I saw you did a Disney lipstick video.
I did. She was kind of part of the inspiration for that. Actual lipstick, I mean. Trying them. Yeah. It was kind of my take at that sort of thing, too.
Does your family know that you do ASMR, or like how do you explain ASMR to others who don't know what it is?
Well, my local friends, I'm open to telling my local friends about it. And I guess I'll talk about this, but I also have a boyfriend, and he also is very in the know about it. He's very supportive of me.
Oh, that's good.
I don't normally talk about my boyfriend, but yeah. He's been very supportive, even though he's not really into ASMR, but he's still like very supportive of what I'm doing. I haven't told my parents or my brothers, my family, no. Actually, none of my family know about it. I feel I'm kind of estranged from my family really right now for the most part since 2 years ago. So, and I don't really know if I could fully go into why I had to move away, but my dad and I had I get into babbling and rambling. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're totally fine.
But my dad gave me an ultimatum after I had just finished being hospitalized for basically depression and anxiety and all that, because I had a breakdown when I had lost an apartment I had in Georgia over 2 years ago. Had a breakdown trying to find another place when I couldn't, and this was when I was still very much like a hermit and isolating myself from people. So after I had been hospitalized and I went through 3 weeks of outpatient therapy where I was trying to actually get used to being around other people and like going to like groups, things like that. After like very shortly after all that finished, my dad gave me an ultimatum, and he said that I had to do a particular thing or I had to get out. And I guess I can kind of go on to that particular thing. I am on disability. Initially for mental illness reasons, and now for a chronic pain condition that I have in my bladder. So, but he's always been hard on me about going back to work. Okay. And I just don't normally talk about a lot of people, but yeah, it's a very sensitive subject. And he basically gave me the ultimatum: I had to go back to work or I had to leave. And at the time, I especially felt very fearful with my anxiety and everything about trying to get a job. And then eventually when my pain condition came around, it's also very hard at the prospect of it.
Right. So
I packed up my car with as much of my stuff as I could, and I drove several states away, hours away. And now I'm here in Maryland, and the rest of my family is down in Georgia. And it's been hard because my mother's been in the hospital recently. Aww. Spent at least 90 days in the hospital, so... And I can't easily go down to see her.
Right.
Because funds are really tight, but it's been hard, yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Is like ASMR, like listening to it or doing your videos, is that helping to, I guess, give you a little bit of some relief during this?
Making videos or listening to them, or
both? Just both.
Listening helps a lot with my anxiety and helping me to sleep. That's basically what I use them for. Okay. Especially a lot of times for going to sleep. And making them has been helping me, give me confidence and helping me feel like I'm actually contributing in my own way to society and being able to give something back. And I feel like it's just my calling and it's my purpose. I feel like I need to do this. And it's something that I love to do, even though I might not be the best at it. But
I think
I would
really
like to keep going. Oh, thank you.
Well, what would you say is the most rewarding thing about being an ASMR artist?
Gosh, the feedback I get, this constructive or positive feedback I get is so rewarding. And when I see the little signs of improvement with my channel, like seeing a video get to, like for me, it's an improvement if I can have a video be viewed at least 100 times within 24 hours. That's an improvement.
Yeah, that's great.
That's like a positive sign for me. Like, I know I'm doing okay. Like, these are all rewarding things, but it's mostly like knowing I'm helping other people and the feedback they're giving me, and that this is actually something that they're enjoying watching me do.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite video that you've created?
Oh, that's tough.
I know, it's a tough question.
I'm actually very fond of my princess.
Yeah, the princess one's my favorite.
I guess it wasn't very receptive with everyone, but it's become like one of my... And Oh gosh. I think whenever I've done a hairbrushing video, I have one hairbrushing video I did several months ago with a local friend of mine where I actually brushed her hair. That was another favorite. I love hairbrushing so much. It's one of my favorite triggers.
Yeah, same.
And this video I have coming out this Monday might become a new favorite. It's kind of, I feel like it's just the most I've ever done in a video so far.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. But I would say maybe the princess, yeah.
Do you ever find your videos giving you triggers yourself?
Yes, actually. When I'm... No, it's funny. Most of the time it's when I'm listening to other things like this, you know, like hair being brushed or like some other triggers that doesn't have to do with my voice. Sometimes that actually causes me either tingles or to make me feel sleepy while I'm editing. And there are a few times where like actually listening to myself speaking, sometimes every now and then it might trigger me, like either with tingles or sleepiness. And I'm just like, gosh, like I can't believe that. And there are times where I have to take a break from editing because I want to go lay down. Or it's sometimes it's a sleepy process.
I've been there when I'm editing my videos, and I'm like,
yeah. Yeah.
Do you have any like dream projects that you'd want to do, or any dream collabs?
Since he's become like a really nice friend, I would love to collab with TR Dewegu.
Yeah.
Gosh, Mike. I'll call him Mike. I can't say his name very well.
I always mess up it too.
I think it's TR Dewegu. That's how he tried to teach me how to say it, but calling him Mike. I would love to collab with Mike one day because I think he's really awesome.
I would love to see that collab.
I would love to collab with you, actually.
Oh my gosh, let's do it.
Okay. I don't know what we would. I would love to collab with you just because I feel like bonded so much, at least over Twitter and whatnot. Like, I just feel like you're so approachable.
Oh, well, thank you. Same.
Yeah. And I'm just trying to think realistically of who I would love to collab with. I know Gentle Whispering's kind of untouchable in a way. I feel like she's more of like a goddess. And I just feel like, oh, that's too far of a dream to think about.
Oh, no, it's not. And what if she might listen to this and then you could get a collab out of it?
That's a dream, you know, a far-fetched dream, but it is a dream. I would love to collab with any of my favorite artists as well, Rascabel Rabbit, Isabella's Imagination. Like, I would love to do that.
Yeah, that like Isabel Imagination was one of the first ones I found too, and I really liked it. Yeah.
I love the production she does for her videos. I wish I could do that kind of thing. I can't really.
I don't know. Your princess one was really. I liked the background and everything you had going and the aesthetic.
All I did was, I have two curtains that I use because I don't own a green screen setup yet at all, and I don't know if. I can't really afford one for now, but I tend to just go to some place like Walmart or Target, you know, stores like that, and I'll buy like a white sheer curtain or a black sort of sheer curtain. And I recorded that video, the princess video, in my closet. So I cleared out a wall in my closet.
Yeah.
And I pinned up the curtain with like push pins, and I did buy these string lights recently from JCPenney, I believe. They're these purple.
Okay.
And I kind of thought of a technique, well, if you put these string lights behind the curtain, if the curtain's kind of sheer enough, you could kind of see it through the curtain. And that's how I kind of got that effect where it almost looks like the princess is in space, I'd like to think.
That's so creative. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah, it's out in the open now. Like, you guys are going to try that out. No, I mean, I kind of feel proud that I discovered that. So, I mean, if it helps, it helps. It's nice to do, like, practical effects sometimes, you know, without using green screens. It can sometimes be.
Green screen's a lot of hard editing, too. And personally, I like it to look more realistic without it as well.
I can't really afford at this moment to do the green screen setup, and especially with my living situation. I'm just in a room right now in someone's house, so
no, I mean, it's more realistic without it, and I found that really
yeah. Although I could see the appeal of using it for certain scenarios, I guess it depends, yeah.
Yeah. Well, where do you see your channel going over the next few years? Do you have like a plan?
I would love to get to 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, I can definitely see that.
I mean, I know this is probably a weird opinion, but I feel like I don't feel validated as a channel unless I get to 1,000 subscribers. I feel like with the way YouTube is, with their new rules on being able to receive monetization, I feel like I'm just not validated until I get to the goal of 1,000 subscribers.
No, I get that. We all have that like mentality, but I definitely see your channel getting to 1,000 subscribers soon.
And I do have dream videos. You did ask for it,
Yeah.
but I do have particular dream videos I want to do. And I'm sure other artists have done this before, but I want to do the White Witch from the Chronicles of Narnia.
You would be so good at that. You should definitely do it. I mean, it's hard to find an idea that someone hasn't done, but like, do it. You can make it your own.
I feel like we're all inspired by each other, and we tend to. Although it's hard because I don't know if you've seen my Kingdom of Valinor video that I've done, like the witch roleplay video I did.
Yeah, I did. I saw that earlier today, actually, because I was going through it, and I was like, oh, what's this?
This is a series I'm trying to do over time. I'm planning on actually trying to film a second episode of that, hopefully next month in January.
Okay.
But the plot eventually goes down with a particular idea that I figured maybe no other artist has done yet. And it's funny because 2 days after I had published that first video, I saw another artist kind of go down the same kind of plot, not with a witch particularly, but with the plot that it's eventually going to turn into when it comes to the viewer's quest. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm so scared that once I do the second episode, which is where the real plot comes in, I'm scared once I release that people say, oh, you're stealing so-and-so's idea. But yeah, I feel like for the most part, we're inspired by each other. And it's kind of unavoidable at that point. We get inspired and kind of borrow ideas.
Yeah, I'm always worried about it too, but then everyone always reminds me when I'm chatting with people that no one's ever going to say anything about it because like you said, there's so much of like everyone's inspired by each other. There's so many ideas. Yeah, that everyone's just waiting to see someone else's take on it. So
yeah, but I would love to do and like I said, I feel comfortable talking about it because I'm sure other artists have done this or will do this, but I want to do the White Witch with the scene where she's feeding Edmund Turkish Delight.
Yes.
That particular scene. Because I feel like that scene is very ASMR-y. It can be very ASMR-y.
Yeah, no, that would be
It's got a lot of potential. I would love to do that once I lose more weight. I've been on a weight loss journey for some months now, too. So.
Oh, you look great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I could talk about that, too, if you want. But.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell us a little bit about it.
So I think I believe it was June when I started. Back in June this summer, I was a little over 200 pounds. I think I weighed in at 206 pounds at the time. Mm-hmm. And this was just generally my weight, the type of weight I had for so many years. And I thought about a particular event that I went through back in 2012, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. Where I was in another horrible living situation at the time, but I had my diet controlled for me, and there was particular rules in this household, and one of them was that I could not eat after 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And after staying there for about 10 months, I think, it could have been 9 months, but it was either 9 or 10 months. After staying there for 9 or 10 months, and when I was about to leave there, I was told, you lost weight, right? And I was like, oh, I didn't know. It's kind of hard if you've ever been like a heavier person, because once you're overweight, I feel like, at least for me, you tend to view yourself always feeling like a whale and always kind of seeing yourself as like a big person. So at the time, I just didn't really think much of it. And then I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, oh, wow. And it turned out I lost 60 pounds within like 9 or 10 months.
That's awesome.
And I realized it was because they cut me off from eating at 8 o'clock, and I was not allowed to eat after that. And of course I had homemade meals, and yeah. So I thought about that time in my past recently this summer, and I thought, well, if I apply the same discipline to myself, maybe I could get similar results. So I have changed my eating habits where I'm counting my calories, and I try not to consume more than 14 or 1,500 calories in a day, which is like what a doctor would recommend, like
Right. Okay.
1,500. I did get a doctor's direction about that before. So I try to not consume more than that, or stop at about that limit of calorie intake. And I cut off consuming any calories whatsoever after 8 o'clock.
Okay.
And when you go to bed on a not so full stomach, it tends to, I don't know if I can explain, but it helps burn what you've got, like whatever fat you have. It helps to burn that, although I can't really as well as some of it. But it's been working for me, and I was 206 pounds back in June, and now I'm sitting at 175 or 174 now.
That's awesome. I'm really glad you told me about it, actually, because
Yeah.
not a lot of people know this, but I was like close to 200 pounds before.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Another thing we can relate to.
Yeah. And I actually had to lose weight when right before I had my son, because I was too heavy. So that's where my weight loss came in, because of my son. So, yeah.
Oh.
So any tips and tricks help. So that'll definitely help me too in the future.
I guess the diet I also had to change for myself due to my bladder pain condition, which I haven't really talked too much about yet, but that's also helped me. It does require a diet change.
Yeah.
I have a condition called, I believe you say it, Interstitial Cystitis.
Okay.
And it's basically, it's actually a really weird condition, and scientists are still studying it, but it's a chronic pain condition in your bladder. And it's like having something like a UTI, but it never stops.
Oh, that's awful.
And there's no infection. So, and it's actually coming up to the 1 year anniversary when I started getting my symptoms, actually, because it started happening in January of this year.
I'm so sorry.
Of 2018. Oh, yeah. Thank you. No, I'm more, it feels more normal for me now. And I'm able to, through diet change and stuff, because with this condition, you can't consume certain things like orange juice, acidic things. Yeah. So I've been having to convert to just drinking water all the time. And that's why I've got like water.
That's funny. I have all some next to me too.
Yes. I hope that wasn't too loud, by the way.
Oh, no. It'll be good ASMR for the middle of the interview.
Oh yes. No. I'm botching it now. I can't do it on the spot. Like
we switch to ASMR voices and we start shaking water into the microphone.
Yes. Oh gosh. No, oh gosh, where was I going? Sometimes I lose track of what I was saying.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
So like doing changes like cutting out soda, juice, really. I can have things like apple juice that's not as acidic.
Okay.
But I nearly went into the hospital one time in February, actually, when I was trying to get used to this whole thing. In February, I had at least one glass of orange juice. I was warned about it beforehand, but I didn't really.
Right.
I had a hard
to test it out, or.
There have been times where I will experiment with a food that potentially triggers more pain or a flare, and but there are also times where I'm just like, screw this, I don't care, I want this now.
Right.
There was an incident in February where I had at least one glass of orange juice. It might have been two, actually. I think I had 2 glasses of orange juice, and I nearly had to go to the hospital later that night because the pain had gone. It was the most severe pain I ever felt. It went from, I typically have a pain from like a 2 or a 3 on average all the time. But this jumped me up to like an 8 or a 9 on the pain.
Oh my goodness, just from 2 glasses of orange juice.
Yes. It actually, yeah. Because the condition, it has something with your blood. It's either scientists are still studying it, but it has something to do with your immune system, and the bladder wall is breaking down somehow, so it doesn't have as much of a protective layer as what like most people's normal bladder would have. Okay. So like, you'll have a protective layer that protects you from when you're consuming things like orange juice or very acidic things, or even chocolate. Yes, chocolate. caffeine stuff. Yeah, I can't have chocolate. I can have white chocolate.
Oh, well, white chocolate's good, so you still have that.
That's the compromise. It's like, I'll eat white chocolate.
I mean, the best chocolate in the whole world is that Hershey's cookies and cream. So, I mean, you got the best
Oh, goodness. One. Well, this still has chocolate chips in it. I don't know.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry.
I've kind of... No, but it also depends on the individual. I find that I'm still kind of testing out certain foods because I'm not sure if they give me that much of a flare. And sometimes the flares are different. Sometimes it doesn't necessarily translate to pain, but sometimes they'll just create more urgency.
Okay.
And yes, it's like very normal for me. It's more normal for me to talk about my bladder and stuff, but like sometimes I've had flares where I'll have to use a restroom 3 times within an hour. And I had one particular day that I logged actually with my physical therapist where I ended up going to the restroom 24 times within 24 hours.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's life right now.
I hope they find like a medication or something that could help with that.
There's very little you can do for it. I do get bladder installations, okay. Which is like, I don't want to get too graphic of what it is, but they insert a catheter into inject a pain numbing medication into your bladder.
So to try to give you some relief.
It gives me relief for a very short period of time, like for maybe a day or so. Aww. It helps. I do that sometimes every 1 or 2 weeks. My urologist has been having me try to go like once every 2 weeks now, because I used to get it just once every week, but now it's like once every 2.
Okay.
Like there's that, and there's other things. I've been going to a therapist and doing pelvic exercises that help with pelvic pain, because this is a condition that you're getting pain radiating throughout your pelvis, basically, not just your bladder. It's really strange. And it's just something I deal with now. It's life. I don't talk about it a lot.
Well, maybe there might be someone out there who's experiencing it, and this could really help them. So thank you for talking about it.
You're welcome. And, another thing I wanted to mention, I found out my other condition. Uh-huh. And that's another thing they're studying, is whether it can be genetic. And for me, I feel like it is.
Okay.
And it's something we developed in our mid-30s. Yeah, I'm 36, so. And I don't know if I mentioned that yet either, but I'm 36. Yeah.
No, that's not. You don't look 36, and 36 is not old either, so.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I get compliments a lot about how I don't. Like I'm in my mid-30s, but it's true. I had a Stranger Things type of childhood, just without the monsters and stuff.
You know, I've only seen like 3 episodes of that, and everyone tells me I need to finish that show.
You do.
I'll have to watch it. It's
become my new favorite show, honestly. I love it so much. My boyfriend and I sat down, we watched the first season and the second season. Like we could not stop watching it.
All right, maybe I'll watch it tonight or something.
I recommend it.
I liked the first few episodes. Is that your favorite show?
I think right now it actually is my new. I also love Game of Thrones as well, but that hasn't really been around for like a year now. But I mean, they're about to release their last season this April, though.
Game of Thrones is like one of my favorites.
Oh, it's so good. Yes.
Maybe we'll have to do a Game of Thrones role play.
I would love that. I'm not sure which character I would portray.
We need to do it.
Okay. Well, I could definitely see you pulling off Dany.
Oh my gosh, she's my favorite. That was too sweet of you.
I'm not sure who I could do necessarily.
Oh, I'm sure we could think
But
of, you could be,
yeah.
you did such a good job at the Princess. You should do, oh my gosh, I can't think of her name right now because it's been a year.
Oh, you mean a priestess? One of the
No,
priestesses? Or
the cute long hair, the one that died in the big castle explosion. What's her name? The queen. She ended up being
oh,
queen. The one married to Tommen.
oh my gosh. Oh, why am I getting a brain blank
I
out?
know, I can't think of her name right now. About to Google it. Queen something.
I know. No, I remember. I'm so embarrassed right now. I can't think of her name, but I know who you're talking about. Her face is in
Marjorie.
Marjorie.
You should do Marjorie.
I think I could do that actually if I get a wig. Because I think she had lighter hair, yeah.
Oh, no one's going to pay attention to the color. You could totally do it.
I could get a cheap wig from Amazon or something. It's fine.
I mean,
I'm sure I'll find something.
All my wigs are like $20 from Amazon, so.
Yes. I'm about to buy a future ASMR video for next month, actually. I'm hoping I can film it next month. We'll see, though.
Do you ever think that you're going to do any like live streamings? I noticed I was looking at your channel again just now. You do some gaming playthroughs.
I want to do live streams so bad. So bad. But I don't have the internet upload speed for it right now. Like you know how people... Oh, I'm sorry. I hit my microphone on my headset, but I just remembered it's not the mic I'm using right now. So I don't know if you ever streamed on Twitch before. I used to actually stream on Twitch, but it wasn't for ASMR or anything. It was more for gaming.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how you have to have a particular internet up speed?
Yeah.
For Twitch? Well, guess what mine is?
Potato?
Oh, more than a potato.
What is that?
0.5, not even a 1.
Oh my goodness.
The last time I tested it from this living situation, and I live in a very rural area right now, but yeah, it's literally like I can't really easily stream with that kind of upload speed without, there being issues and people probably being turned off by it. But it is something I wish I could do because I love at least playing certain video games. I love playing Dead by Daylight and
yeah.
And there's this one horror game I've been trying to record myself playing and that was partly how this princess video came out because that just ended up failing. But I've been playing Visage, the new horror game that came out not too long ago, and that's really scary.
I was going to say, yeah, more things we have in common. I live in a rural area, and there's nothing around me. There's only dirt roads.
Yes.
And my favorite games to play are horror games too.
There's vineyards near me, and there's farms, and yeah.
Yeah, there's only farms around me and apple orchards.
Well, I should hope you have a better upload speed than I do, though.
I pay a lot to try to get the best internet out here that I can, but a lot of people won't know this because we're going to edit this interview, but in the middle of this interview, it crashed, guys, and we had to start in the middle. So.
Oh, because of the internet?
Yeah, my internet crashed out the Discord, so that's where I went for a second when I came back.
I figured it was some sort of connection problem, so I just waited. I was like, okay, she'll come back.
Too kind of you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
sometimes that happens to me, too.
Oh, yeah. No, I was just going to say, so what advice do you want to give to anyone, or could you give to anyone who's aspiring to be an ASMR artist?
Start now, and you don't have to have the best equipment, but if you've got the passion for it, and especially if you've been an avid listener to it, I especially say go for it. And just don't feel like you have to have the best camera or the best microphone because you honestly don't. You start out with a $50 microphone like my Blue Snowball that I've been using. And you can, get by with that for a while. And you can have a webcam, which is what I use. I have a webcam. And it's all I've got for right now until I'm able to upgrade. Don't feel like you have to run out and buy all these things just to start. Oh, gosh, there is something I want to advise newer artists, though.
Yeah.
And this is kind of I don't know if a lot of people are talking about it. But you will, especially when you're starting out your channel and you don't have a lot of subs yet, and you're in that state of mind where you feel like you have to please everyone, you're going to get, you're most likely going to get requests from particular people that are going to ask you to do particular requests. And some of these turn out to be very fetishy geared requests, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is something very, very many people talk about, though, in the ASMR community, but I could be mistaken.
I feel like it's something we all talk about, like, behind closed doors that we don't actually talk about out loud. Yeah.
Yes. Gibby did a tweet about it back in September, for what I remember. And that's how I learned about it. It's like, oh, really? Because in my opinion, and I could be wrong too, but I feel like two particular requests that constantly get asked of just about any artist now is to do a match lighting video and to do the silk scarf over your face type.
Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning before the interview.
Yes, we did.
Every new person gets that same person commenting on their video asking about like an hour-long match lighting video.
This is something we all go through, it seems like, at the start now. And I want to warn people that if a request seems like it's very uncomfortable for you to do, like, don't feel like you have to please that person to do something you would not feel comfortable doing. And don't feel like you have to just do things you wouldn't want to do, I guess is what I want to say without getting too much into it. But be aware that there are people that will request things like that of you, especially if they're very specific in their requests and give a lot of details. Like the way you would want to strike the match, dousing it in a bowl of water, like in my case. And I'm not going to name the person who has requested this of me before, but...
No, I think that's great advice because that happens a lot. So, I mean,
I see so many artists getting targeted like this. I saw a newer artist actually get targeted by this like a week or so ago, and I just privately messaged her, and I privately messaged her on Twitter, and I said, hey, just to let you know, this is actually something that's requested a lot, and I don't think it's necessarily something that was asked for your best interest. You know, I think, you know, and I showed her Gibby's tweet because she's a fan of Gibby as well, from what my understanding.
Yeah.
Explain it well and in her tweet anyway. And I just kind of share the same opinion about it, but just something to keep in mind.
I agree because I've noticed the same, like, couple people commenting on all new artist videos trying to get them all to do the same thing. So. And
it seems like they don't care who you are. All they want is just like a particular video done. And it's not like they're there for you.
Right.
You know, I guess that's the thing that bothers me. Yes.
Yeah.
And I listen more to requests that are more open-ended, and I'm able to have flexibility with it. And if it seems like they actually want to have me do this particular trigger, and if I'm comfortable doing it, yes, I will try to keep that in mind and do it in the future when I'm able to either afford the props or whatnot, depending on what it is.
Right. Well, I know that we talked about this before the interview, but I know we also briefly spoke about some scary stories, and you mentioned something about shadow people. So can you tell us that story?
I was visited by a shadow person when I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. And I try to look at this from a scientific view and and I also view it from a paranormal type of view. Mm-hmm. So I try to be open-minded about it. But when I was a teenager, I think I was either 16 or 17, something around there. I had just gotten home from school, and back then I was very depressed, and I was struggling with my mental health even then in school, and like barely passing and everything. And all I wanted to do was just go to bed and take a nap because it was like a really tiring day. And it was still daylight outside. Mm-hmm. And I went to my room, went to bed. I think I was only asleep for maybe an hour or something. And then I opened my eyes. I felt like I was starting to wake up, but I wasn't quite awake yet. And I was opening my eyes, and there was this silhouette of a figure standing by my bedside, like just like a foot or two away from me. And for whatever reason, I thought it was my mother. So I did feel paralyzed in my point in the bed. So some people would argue this was just a night terror, a form of a night terror. And I am open to that concept as well. I know it's the most logical explanation. But I was feeling paralysis in my bed, so I couldn't move. And I felt myself say out loud, Mom?
Yeah.
Like a question, you know, like just saying like, you know, like I was trying to say, is that you?
Yeah.
and the silhouette ended up just growling at me, and it was the most menacing growl I ever heard. It was not there to be friendly with me. And I blinked, and it was, sorry, I think I was burping for a second, but I blinked. Yeah, sorry, we're all human. I blinked, and it was gone.
Have you ever listened to ASMR Darling? Because she talks about what she called it as a night terror or two, but she literally says the same thing you did, and she said that like she would see like a black figure in the corner of her like room. Yeah,
that's a shadow person. I haven't heard that. No, I mean I haven't watched her.
You should check it out. Go to her like channel later and listen to it because it literally sounds exactly like your story, and she went through the same thing.
A lot of us who went through it seem to have similar stories. Yeah,
that's so creepy.
Which makes me wonder. You know, like I know it's most likely probably a night terror, but I also just wonder if there's something more than just that.
Right, that you're all going through it.
Yeah, and I heard, I talked with my boyfriend about it, and he also believes in shadow people, and he also has had experiences with shadow people before, more than once. And he told me that they tend to come to you when I'm trying to remember exactly what he said, but they tend to try to do harm to you somehow. And it's like you have to try to get out of it before they can do very much. I don't want to scare anyone because I haven't had an experience that ever since. Like, and I'm 36 now, so I'm not really scared of it anymore. But
right, no, I mean I had similar, like not that, but I've had like scary stories in my interview with Chris that I talked about too.
Oh, like real life stuff you went through with a
paranormal? Yeah, I mean, like briefly, like when I grew up in a house, like a really big, like scary house when I was younger. Me and my sister were like jumping on the bed, and out of nowhere, and it's etched in my brain to this day. A hand came like out of the wall, but it was like in the shape of the wall, so like the wall like grew like a hand. You know what I mean? Like reached out.
That's freaky.
Yeah, and I remember seeing it, screaming and running downstairs, and my mom was trying to tell me that I had been like sleeping, and I was like, nope. So that's like the most
You were awake?
Yeah, I was awake jumping on the bed with my sister, so that's like the most vivid thing that I remember. So
see, like I have yet to have an experience like that where I'm actually awake and I know.
Yeah, it was not
in my heart this is happening.
I was really glad when we moved away.
I bet.
But I bet. On a happier note, let's see. I know that on Twitter you mentioned you loved owls to me, and so you said it's your favorite animal. What about them do you like or love, or do you have a favorite type of owl?
I love owls. They're one of my favorite creatures, and I also love rabbits. And if you look at my Twitter, I'm constantly posting GIFs of either rabbit or nowadays owls too. I'm trying to...
Yeah.
I think my favorite owl is the barn owl, though.
Oh, yeah. I like those, too.
I love their faces and how ghostly they can look and how pretty and elegant. And they're one of my favorites. Yeah. And I get so adorified. I love them so much. I'm kind of in tune with nature sometimes and animals, and sometimes I'll find myself just stopping what I'm doing and I'm looking at the sky and my breath is taken away by the looks of the clouds.
Aw, that's so sweet. I love nature too, though. One of my favorite things to do is hike.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Aww. Well, I thought we could wrap this up with a little game that I'm calling Slay My Name, Slay My Name. It's basically,
Slay Your Name.
Yeah. It's basically just my horrible singing. Sorry for butchering it. But I'm going to read an ASMR artist's Christmas-themed Twitter handle, and I want you to see if you can recognize the artist's name from it, okay?
Oh, gosh. Wait, explain it again. What am I doing?
I'll just read their Christmas-themed Twitter handles. You know, everyone's changing their name. And you tell me if you can guess which artist it is, okay?
Oh, gosh. I'm probably going to be somewhat bad at this because I've only seen certain ones, but okay.
No, it's okay. So the first one will start easy. It's just GP Bells.
Oh, GB, for sure.
And then we have, let's do Frosty Daisy.
Oopsie Daisy.
Yes. Okay. And then we have Festive Fox.
I can't say her name. Frivolous?
Yeah, Frivolous
Is that how you
Fox.
say? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
And then let's see. How about Jolly Bean Evergreen?
Jelly Bean.
And then
That's kind of a dead giveaway.
Yep. And then let's see. I liked Crinkle Bell Cock.
Well, that's kind of easy. It's Crinkle Oven, right?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And then I have one more. Let's do Jingle Dove.
I saw her as, darn it. She's got Dove in her name.
Yeah, Tingle Dove.
That's the only one I'm not as familiar with. Gosh, I feel bad now.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to try to add a little bit of fun Christmas theme to this episode since it's during the holidays.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lilibette, for being on today. It has been
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been a real pleasure and so much fun.
It's been a real pleasure. I've always wanted to be in. Glad my dream came true today.
Yeah, thank you for being my first one alone as well. It was nice to have a friend, so it felt more real.
Yeah, I do feel like we're more friends. Funny befriending someone on Twitter, even feeling like you're close to them.
All right, guys, if you have not subscribed to Lilibette ASMR, you're seriously missing out. Go to her channel, give her a like, smash that subscribe button. And while you're at it, if you are not subscribed to TDNS, you should go ahead and go over there and smash that subscribe button as well. I'm going to also need you to go ahead and like this video and leave a comment so Chris knows how good of a job I'm doing. And if you want, right? He needs to know, guys. And while you're at it, if you want to continue to listen to my crazy ass do these interviews for the next few months, I'm going to have you click on the bell icon to get notifications for my next few interviews, okay? And, go ahead and just keep looking out, and we'll catch you guys in the next interview. Thanks.